Everyone else has taken their leave. Szoboszlai's hit! It is something very, very special! A break down Arsenal!
And then you need a moment of magic, which we got from Dominik. And that resulted us winning the game. He's always been the player that I think he understands what a Liverpool player should look like. If you wear this shirt, you should give everything, no matter in what position you play.
And it was going to be decided in two possible actions, an individual error or a magic moment. And it was decided on a magic moment from the side.
With Trent Alexander-Arnold having left for Real Madrid this summer, Liverpool required a new set-piece taker. That responsibility fell to Dominik Szoboszlai, who has been temporarily operating at right-back, but is, of course, a midfielder by trade. Until Sunday, Alexander-Arnold had been the only Liverpool player to score directly from a free kick in the Premier League since 2017.
It's Alexander-Arnold! It is picture perfect!
But Szoboszlai has been quietly preparing for the role. Over the past few weeks, he has been staying behind after training to refine his striking technique. And here, he sensed an opportunity. The free kick was awarded some 32 yards from goal, hardly a typical shooting position. But the context mattered. Arsenal had defended the open play situations well, Liverpool were struggling to generate clear chances, and a direct effort felt logical. Szoboszlai's clean strike caught out David Raya, giving Liverpool the decisive moment in what had otherwise been a tight contest. It was officially the 48th longest free kick converted in Premier League history. The distance is notable, but more important was the timing. In a game with few genuine opportunities, set pieces represented the likeliest route to a breakthrough. Szoboszlai recognized that and executed accordingly. Here we examine the tactical context and technical execution that made this strike distinctive, and why it suggests Szoboszlai could have announced himself as Liverpool's primary dead ball master. Direct free kicks have become increasingly rare in the Premier League, and Liverpool themselves had not scored one at Anfield since 2020.
Please revive this.
Oh no, the big man's come over getting involved now.
Szoboszlai's effort therefore felt unusual in both timing and execution. The Hungarian has long been known for his long-range shooting, combining power with accuracy.
Hamster. It is Szoboszlai!
And here he opted for a relatively short four-step run-up. The strike itself was struck with pace, but also notable dip, clearing the wall comfortably before clipping the inside of the post on its way into the top corner. Technically, there was little in the way of follow-through, which contributed to the ball's late movement and made it more difficult for David Raya to judge the flight. It was an approach that balanced power with unpredictability. Interestingly, Szoboszlai admitted afterwards that most of his recent practice had been from positions closer to goal, suggesting that this particular distance was less rehearsed.
Luckily, we could practice, since we started the season, we could practice some free kicks. I feel this was a little bit farther, but I was like...
32 yards.
Okay, thank you. I was like, I take a risk. I was confident in myself, so I tried it, and finally, a long time ago.
The choice to shoot from 32 yards, then, reflected an awareness of game context as much as technique, Liverpool struggling to create from open play, and Arsenal defending well in deeper zones. Goals from this distance are increasingly uncommon in the modern game, with goalkeepers now better prepared, and defensive walls more carefully organized. Attempts from beyond 30 yards are generally low-percentage efforts. In training environments, where attackers are striking from 30 to 35 yards without a wall, the conversion rate is extremely low, perhaps 1 in 100. That underlines the quality of Szoboszlai's execution here. A combination of pace, dip, and late movement that very few can produce. The role of Szoboszlai's teammates, while the finish itself will draw the headlines, the contribution of Florian Wirtz and Cody Gakpo was also significant. Positioned alongside Arsenal's three-man wall, they restricted David Raya's line of sight in the seconds, before Szoboszlai's run-up. This encouraged Raya to take up a position slightly left of center. As Szoboszlai began his approach, Raya adjusted towards the middle, but both Wirtz and Gakpo shifted too, maintaining the obstruction. For a brief instant, Raya had a clearer view. But Wirtz's movement across the goalkeeper's eye line quickly reintroduced the screen. From Raya's perspective, the positioning was logical. Attempt to lure Liverpool's players into blocking him, then shift late. Yet Liverpool's execution was coordinated, with Wirtz and Gakpo reacting intelligently to sustain the visual barrier. Their role should not be overlooked in assessing why the goalkeeper was beaten from such range. Was Arsenal's wall effective? Arsenal opted for a three-man wall consisting of Riccardo Calafiori, Victor Gyökeres and Jurrien Timber. Notably, their two strongest aerial defenders, Gabriel and Christian Mosquera, were positioned elsewhere. The logic was straightforward. From 32 yards, the likelihood of Liverpool attempting a clipped delivery into the penalty area was high enough that Arsenal wanted their best markers. Free-to-track runners. Ryan Gravenberch's positioning to the right of Szoboszlai reinforced this threat. He was clearly available as a short option, or as the receiver of a disguised pass before a cross. In that context, Arsenal's decision to prioritize coverage in the box, rather than size in the wall, was understandable. The trade-off, however, was a slightly smaller barrier. Against most takers, that would be sufficient. Shots from this range rarely beat a goalkeeper directly. Arsenal would have calculated that a wall of average height was adequate. Protection, unless the strike was of the very highest quality. In this case, Szoboszlai produced precisely that. The main point of debate concerns the size of Arsenal's wall. From 32 yards, it is unusual to commit three players. At that distance, the priority for the goalkeeper is often visibility rather than sheer wall coverage. Raya is experienced enough that a one- or two-man wall would likely have sufficed, allowing him to position himself more centrally without his sightline being obstructed.
Arnhem's that a third game this season that should have been a draw, but someone found a way to win it later on for you?
If we play this game 10 times more in the same fashion, then I think it's 8 times a draw. We win it one time and Arsenal wins it one time because it was an uneventful game, which is something sometimes positive as well, because both teams were really good in rest defense and in defending. But I think normally Arsenal and us are able to create more chances during a game. But it tells you also something about the structure and the amount of discipline both teams have without the ball. And then you need a moment of magic, which we got from Dominik. And that resulted us winning the game that was, like I just said, normally would have been ended in a draw. But I don't agree with you on the first game. I think we totally deserved to win the warm-up game, by the way.
You said it at one point last season that Dominik Szoboszlai was maybe a little bit underrated, not by you, but externally. What he's done the last few games, is that sort of somewhat carried forward against this team?
I don't think he changed at all in the last few games compared to what he did last season. He's always been the player that I think he understands what a Liverpool player should look like. If you wear this shirt, you should give everything, no matter in what position you play. As a midfielder, he's always the first one to track back, to press high. And today, I don't think he did anything wrong. Unbelievable game from him in a position he probably played only 2 or 3 times in his life. So tells you a lot about the mentality he has. He played really well, as he played so many times so well as an attacking midfielder.